boyfriend destroyed the painting I made for him because it's cheap?
Well, you were no Picasso.
I, 24 female, have a boyfriend, John, 27 male, who is extremely difficult to buy presents for. He comes from an affluent family, has a great job, and buys everything he wants whenever he wants it. By the way, this comes from user The Painter. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And here we are. We're here to give you a little good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments.
Please. Please.
Please tell us your
Please.
thoughts. As OP says, I am lower income. I lost my job a few months ago and had to take another one which pays less. I'm struggling to pay my part of the rent and pay off my student loans. It is difficult for him to understand this most of the time. I love to paint. My boyfriend has said my paintings are very good and that he likes them a lot. And since my income is so low, I decided to paint him a painting for his birthday this Saturday. I researched this for months beforehand, and I decided to paint a scene from his favorite game, BioShock, with him as a Big Daddy character.
That's not a weird thing. Again, that's
No,
that,
it's-
What is that?
Context.
I don't know what that
Just
means.
to paint the picture,
Yeah.
it's just a big guy in like a diver suit with
Like a
a
1920s
big
diver
drill on his
suit.
hand,
Okay, so he's in a driver's
like
suit.
an old school divers. I know it sounds cheesy, but I honestly thought he would like it because he always said I was talented and he loves this game, and I poured a ton of work into it. That's not
Big
cheesy.
Daddy.
That makes
Everyone
sense. You would
loves
think.
Big Daddy.
Everyone loves Big Daddy. A week before his birthday, he had been hinting heavily at wanting a new iPhone. When I presented him with the painting, he asked me if this was his present and if I got him something else.
Dude, how is she gonna afford the freaking $2,000 iPhone? How much is that iPhone? It's so expensive.
He got upset and said a bunch of awful things, calling it a cheap and lazy gift and saying that I was cheap in general. I tried to defuse the situation and told him I was sorry he didn't like it, but that I wasn't able to get him the iPhone he wanted. He took the painting and didn't tear it, but he bent and crinkled it, completely ruining the paint. He told me that I obviously didn't care about what he wanted and that I was bad at budgeting. So it came out that my boyfriend resented paying for groceries and utilities, even though he had agreed to this before. I told him that if he wanted to discuss it, we could, but this wasn't a good reaction. He told me that I was just after him for money and that he didn't want a crappy painting when he could apparently be in a committed relationship with another girl at his workplace who makes more money. And then he said, "But I love you," as though that excused what he said. Then he brought up this girl claiming she had brought him a red velvet cake for his birthday, which is his favorite cake, and implied that I didn't care about his preferences. I told my boyfriend I baked him a chocolate cake earlier in the week with cream cheese frosting, which is basically red velvet
It
cake.
is.
It is. He switched and said that this other girl had gotten it from his favorite bakery and that some random girl knew which bakery he liked over me. So you want to take the bakery cake over, like, your girlfriend baked you a
baked a
freaking cake?
That's crazy.
You're
I think this guy
insane.
just doesn't like homemade things.
I just went to bed. This morning, he's gone, and so is the painting. He sent me a text saying he went out to an Easter/birthday brunch with his parents, and he'll be back soon. I'm not sure if I want to end the relationship, which has a ton of commitment involved. He has never acted like this before about money, and he's not telling me what's going on. I think he might be interested in this other girl, or at least jealous of how much money she makes compared to me.
Oh,
I agree.
You cracked the case, Sherlock. The girl that he told you he would rather be with.
Yeah, like
He's
two
maybe
different times.
interested. Yeah.
Like, she knows the cake that I
Yeah.
like and you don't.
Yeah. Like,
and
he's
also she
literally-
makes that big CPA money.
He also said, maybe I should be with this girl. He literally said that. So we should
Yeah,
just
you do that. You leave
cut our
that.
losses.
The cake is a lie.
The
Mhm.
cake is indeed a lie. I am already feeling very hurt about the painting, and I'm not sure that's a good place to start another argument. And there are some comments. The first one says, "Are you kidding me? Your boyfriend ruined something that you made for him out of love and called it crappy because it wasn't expensive enough? Berates you for your financial situation and is talking about another girl in front of you. Why is this guy not your ex already? Please don't say he's a good guy, because good guys don't do crap like this."
True. And also she said that he had never done anything like this, which is not true because she said earlier that he had never understood her financial situation. So clearly this was already an underlying problem.
OP says, he's definitely not the best guy.
Well,
But why are we with him?
well,
What I would say is he says a lot of things in anger, but I am definitely considering breaking up with him. Because of my financial situation and the lease, it would be very difficult, however, so I'm wondering if there's any way this could be worked out. OP mentions something else that happened in the past. Haha, I wish. Stop laughing. This is not funny.
stop it.
I mean, well, you can cope, I guess. You can cope. But it's not.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a
I wish. Wait until I tell you about the muffin incident.
not the muffin man.
incident.
He thought I was making blueberry muffins and threw one across the room when he realized they were cranberry. And the Thanksgiving debacle.
They've got names?
He told my grandmother he thought that she was passed away already.
He went up to your grandma and said, "Hey, I thought you were passed away."
Hey, what are you doing here, zombie? Hey, what are you?
He
Did
said, "I
someone
thought you
resurrect
were-
you with a spell?
He said, "I thought you were DEAD."
We're breaking up now. We got an update. I think we're breaking up. I have an update. When John didn't return after a couple of hours and I read your comments, I got a little pissy and invited over a couple of girlfriends for drinks and complaining. I did a lot of complaining and they basically said what you said. John did not return home after his Easter brunch, so I ate a tray of lemon bars. When I got home from work today, he had the painting and he'd put it in a cheap dollar store frame. It was wrinkled, flaked, and ruined beyond repair. He told me he was sorry that he got so upset and that he was just expecting a different gift. I asked him where he was, and he said he stayed with his parents for the night and borrowed work clothes from his dad. Yeah, right. I directly asked him why he was so upset when I gave him a painting that I worked so hard on. He said that he pays for everything and gets rightfully upset when I don't use all of my extra cash to be thoughtful. I pay for half of the rent on this expensive apartment, all of my student loans. I have no extra cash. He buys the most expensive part of the groceries, like a pound of pine nuts a week, and expensive gelato always in the freezer, and cranks up the AC and heat and leaves the lights on.
I'm sorry, so his contributions are pine nuts and gelato and making the AC bill high? I also feel like he's cranking the AC and then he's like, "Oh, it's so chilly." And then he puts the heat on.
Yeah, just flip-flopping back and forth. We would have countless arguments since I would be paying half of a huge bill that I contributed 10% of. He started paying for utilities and groceries at his insistence after it started to take a toll on our relationship. I told him that if he was so upset, we could split the utilities evenly again, but I was mad that he took out his temper on me and destroyed all of my hard work. He starts saying things like, "You never loved me, you knew I was a prize pig," etc. Our degrees are the same. We have the same degrees. That is how we met, but his dad hired him right out of school, and I was left to find work for myself. I don't resent him for this, but I wasn't even aware of his economic status while we were initially dating. By the time I learned, I was already invested in the relationship. Trust me when I say he has never been this aggressive before in our entire relationship, so I knew something was up. I was super pissed, and I outright asked him if he was effing Red Velvet, his work friend. He said that a while ago they went out for drinks after work with a whole group and ended up kissing afterwards. I asked him if that was all that happened, and he said yes.
I literally don't believe him.
Doesn't matter. Like, so
It
he
also
cheats on
doesn't
you
matter.
and then gets more aggressive with you
Yeah.
because that's how he's going to cope with it?
Yeah, he's cheated on you. He destroyed your painting. He's clearly incapable of understanding your financial situation and doesn't want to. There's no upsides here. There's really no upsides.
Zero upside.
Yeah.
I kept asking him what his problem is and why he has to compare me to other girls and why he tore up the painting, why he's aggressive now when he hasn't been before, etc. I know I was probably being annoying, but I was so mad. He kept repeating that money line over and over. Finally, he broke down and told me that it wasn't just a kiss.
What?
Shocker.
What? Huh?
So shocking.
No.
He said that he and Red Velvet had started going on little dates during work hours. They didn't have spicy sleep, but they are basically in a relationship. He said he was falling for her and felt as though she was better for him and wanted me to break up with him. Coward!
So he was just trying to, like, be awful to you until you broke up with him.
Yeah.
Well,
He did it.
yeah.
And by the way, something you can do is listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform, whatever it is. iHeartRadio, that's a good one. Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever. Just search OK Storytime. It's right here. It's on the microphone. It's all around you.
Like the Force.
It's the
in your
name of our
home.
channel.
Midichlorian.
And you can listen to the episodes
Behind you.
until
He's right behind me, isn't
you
he?
get jump scared by how many episodes there are. And we have a little bit more story left. Well, it's time to break up.
It's time to break up.
And
It's
fellas,
pretty cut and dry.
PSA to the fellas out there. If you're with
This holiday season.
honest, not even the fellas, just anybody.
Yeah.
PSA to anybody who's in a relationship and you're like, "Ooh, like I don't know if I'm happy or I think I might be falling for someone else. I'm just gonna be awful to this person until they
Yeah.
break up with me." Never do that. Have the hard conversations.
Yeah.
Always better than just being awful.
So much better.
Part of the painting thing was his resentment towards me financially. And part of it was him wanting to hurt me enough that I would break up with him. I guessed that the fight about the painting was when it got real for him and he wanted to fix it and break it off with Red Velvet. He and I had signed a 1-year lease and we still have 3 months left, but I told him to get out of the apartment and that we were breaking up, and he did leave with some clothes. I'm not sure if he's coming back. Maybe he's staying with Red Velvet. I don't care. Not anymore. And we have some more comments here. 262 Mel says, "I'm sorry, you deserve much better." Yeah, she does. And OP says, "I know that now. In a way, I'm almost relieved that there was an underlying cause. Now I feel like he wasn't just being stupid and hurtful because that's who he is, but because it was a goal. Maybe that's a dumb way to think, but I do still hate him."
Yeah.
Picardy Turd says, "A pound of pine nuts
Yes.
a week."
Yes.
A pound?
Picardy understands me.
OP replies, "Weird, right? It's like he had a problem of some kind. Is he using them to salt his driveway? That's insane." OP says he eats them constantly. Handfuls at a time. It's basically like eating money. Derby does say, not to mention, they are one of the fattiest nuts you can eat, about 200 calories per
Whoa.
handful.
That I didn't know that.
Pine
That's
nuts. OP says he is quite chubby. Good riddance. He'll have himself a nice slice of red velvet cake. Oh, and that's the end of that story. Well, hey, good on you using a little bit of humor to cope
A little bit of humor.
with that. But he sucks,
He
dude. He
sucks.
sucks.
My boyfriend kept ruining my birthdays, so I left.
Goodbye, boyfriend.
My boyfriend has ruined my birthday 2 years in a row, and I honestly don't know if I'm overreacting for thinking about leaving, or if I'm acting selfish. By the way, this comes from OK Environment 9440. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, last year we got into a big fight on my birthday. It ended with him telling me I was selfish for wanting the day to be about me. Your birthday?
Your birthday?
That I couldn't stand when attention wasn't on me and that it was my fault my birthday was ruined. I had only told him he was starting to act a little too wasted and was embarrassing himself, but the situation escalated quickly. We were both drinking, so I apologized, tried to move past it, and chalked the whole thing up to booze. This year, I planned something I thought we'd both enjoy. I booked a 3-story arcade with go-karts, axe throwing, an indoor adventure park, and mini golf. I stayed away from bars or clubs because he often says he's not a fun guy or party person when I suggest he goes to those places with me, and I didn't want him to feel out of place. I wanted it to be something lighthearted and enjoyable for both of us. He had been in a great mood all day, even bought himself something earlier that day for an early Black Friday deal. But the second I finished getting ready, everything changed. He barely said anything, mumbled a You look nice. And his mood just shifted. At the arcade, he barely talked or participated, and I kept trying to keep things fun, but he just wasn't into it. While we were waiting for the go-karts, he told me he didn't want to ruin my day, but he wasn't having fun, wasn't enjoying himself, and was hungry. Why are you a little baby?
Why don't you eat my dust on the go-kart track, buddy?
Literally, why are you being such a little baby? He also said that other places we went to were better than this. I started feeling anxious and told him I didn't know what to do, which he pointed out wasn't his fault if I felt like that. We ended up leaving early. I offered to go to another place that had food and looked like it could be a mix of what we both liked, but he said if we went there, he wouldn't talk because it wasn't somewhere he would enjoy. What does he even like? Literally, what does this guy like? So we just went home. He didn't even end up getting the food he said he wanted so badly. When we got home, things just escalated in the worst way. I asked again why he hadn't enjoyed himself. He said, I'm not a fun person. I'm not a party person like you. As if I had taken him to a club instead of an arcade. That really hurt because I had planned this night specifically so he wouldn't say that. I wanted something low-key that we could both enjoy. I told him it didn't make sense. And that's when he said the real reason was that he wasn't happy with his life. He was sad and couldn't fake it at the arcade. I know it might sound selfish, but it felt like I was being punished for trying. No matter what I did to make things enjoyable for both of us, he just wouldn't be happy. He couldn't even try to act happy for one night for my sake. And what makes it more confusing is that he's been in such a good mood all day before this happened. I do understand depression. I've dealt with it myself for a long time, and I know how overwhelming it can feel. But in that moment, it felt like he was using it to shift the focus away from how the night actually went. Every explanation he gave somehow turned the situation back onto me. He told him that I understood what he was going through and that his feelings were valid, but I was still hurt by how he acted throughout the night because he didn't show up when I needed him to. I said I needed to go downstairs for some space and that we could talk about his feelings the next day when things had calmed down. Instead of just letting me go downstairs, he followed me downstairs and started yelling. He said that I was acting spoiled. I was acting like a 15-year-old child, that I was making everything about me, that most people don't even get to celebrate birthdays. And then he stormed out of the house and drove off. The next day, when I brought it up again and gave him a chance to apologize for storming out of the house and not telling me where he was going, it turned into a conversation about how I don't understand his feelings and how I don't validate them. Before I could speak, he even said that if I tell him I understood his feelings, he might leave me.
Then go. Be gone from me.
Wait, what?
He's like, don't even say you understand, because you don't. And if you try to say that, I'm just going to leave. Bye.
You can't win with this guy. Mr. No Fun. He did apologize, but then turned it back on me in the same breath, saying I make him feel like he can't talk to me. It left me feeling confused and guilty, like maybe I really don't understand him, even though I've tried so hard to get him to open up to me. I've begged him before to talk to me about what's going on in his life, especially when I could tell something was happening at work. But every time I asked, he'd shut me down immediately. The conversation then turned into him again calling me selfish and spoiled because 1 out of 3 times I was celebrating with family and friends the next weekend turned out bad, even though it turned out bad because of him. So it just felt like I couldn't win either way. Like I wasn't doing anything right, and I just left the whole conversation feeling awful. I want to emphasize he isn't an awful guy. He did try to make it up to me a couple days later with dinner and gifts, but I can't shake how everything played out. I know that his feelings are important and valid too, but I just wanted one day to feel special without being made to feel selfish. I work 2 jobs while I'm in college, and my birthday is one of the only days all year when I can dress up, feel pretty, and actually enjoy myself. Now, I don't even want to celebrate my birthday anymore with family or friends, and I feel bad that I don't really care about the gifts he got me. I honestly don't think I've ever been this confused about a relationship before, and I really need help understanding what's going on. Am I overreacting or an a-hole for thinking about leaving him? Was I acting selfish? I'm open to honest criticism.
Yeah, that's big. He did it 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, and it seems like he does this like for every sort of event.
Yeah.
He's just Mr. No Fun, and you can't win with a guy like
If
that.
this was just like a once in a blue, like literally like one, like just a birthday thing, it'd be like, okay, maybe we can figure out what's actually, maybe there's something else around birthdays
Yeah.
or something that really, I don't know. But if it's just a constant, every single thing is always, well, I'm just not fun. Why would you want to be with someone who's not fun?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be with someone who's not fun.
Like expressly not
yeah,
fun.
like even says that he's not fun. What do you bring
Yeah.
to the table? Comment 1. I had a partner who found a way to ruin every special occasion. He wasn't battling depression, and the next partner, who was battling depression, did not ruin my special days. It's not the depression. This guy doesn't really like you. I hate to say it. It's him that can't stand not being the center of attention on other people's special days. Comment 2 says, hey, I don't know if this is helpful, but one of the most common traits of
NPD.
self-absorbed people is ruining days on holidays that are important to the self-absorbed person's partner. Someone who can shout at you on your own birthday that you can't stand not being the center of attention can't stand not being the center of attention themselves. He made your next birthday about him too. It will never change. Edit. Wow, I wasn't expecting this much engagement on my post, and I really appreciate everyone who took the time to comment. Reading all of your perspectives has been overwhelming, but also very eye-opening. I genuinely hoped I was just being selfish or misreading the situation, but hearing so many consistent experiences and warnings has given me a lot to think about. We do live together, so it makes everything more complicated. But leaving is something I know I need to do, and I'm going to take the steps I need to in order to protect my peace. Thank you to everyone who shared advice, experiences, and support. It truly means more than you know. By the way, it would mean a lot if you listened to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit left to this story.
Yeah.
And final thoughts.
Don't be with somebody who ruins it.
Yeah. Don't be with someone
Always
who's just
ruining
not
it.
fun.
You're ruining it.
I think that you should have at least 75 to 80% fun with your partner. Like in the entirety of it. Like 75 to 80%.
You got to let them ruin it sometimes.
of your yeah.
Sometimes it
It's
doesn't matter
okay.
who it is.
Sometimes they're gonna ruin it.
No matter
But
who they are.
75 to 80% of your time, like your time with your partner, I think you should be enjoying yourself. But there is an update. I haven't told him I'm leaving yet because I need to make arrangements, get my things out, and find a new place to stay. I also don't want him to react badly or try to pressure me into staying. I want to make sure I'm in a stable and safe position to leave before saying anything. Everything is still really new, and I'm taking things one step at a time. I am celebrating my birthday with my friends this weekend. We're going out for karaoke, and he is not invited. He does not get another opportunity to ruin this for me. I'll also be looking into the books and websites you guys have sent me. Comment 1 says he's gonna throw a fit at the not being invited part. Does he have your location? Can he just show up and ruin it that way? OP says he wouldn't want to come even if he was invited. Unfortunately, as it's not something he'd be interested in. He's also not the type to show up, but he is the type to start a fight. So I'm getting ready at a friend's place and staying the night there to prevent that from happening and to make sure he doesn't get the chance. Comment 2 says this, I also married a man like this, and it only got worse year after year. He made the holidays brutal. He was unhappy, so we all had to be unhappy. I got so tired of spending every Christmas trying to make magic for our kids, while he sat like a sullen gray cloud just raining on us for daring to try to have fun. Out last year, I had nothing. Couldn't even find it in me to put the Christmas tree up or wrap presents. I just lay in bed sad. 4 days later, I told him I wanted a divorce and haven't looked back since. Congrats.
There you go.
Yeah. That guy was a 60, probably a 40% fun. Maybe
Even less.
lower. Maybe 20.
My boyfriend is furious at me because I called him for dinner too late.
I wanted to eat at 6:05 and you called me at 6:15.
I, 26 female, have been living with my boyfriend, 32 male, for the past 2 years, and it's been going pretty well. I'm an ER nurse, and I work 12-hour shifts from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is perfect because by the time I start driving home, the traffic is terrible, and I get home just before dinner, giving me enough time to cook. Dinner is at 8 p.m. By the way, this comes from user funcartographer6984. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we are here to give you good advice goofily. But we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So if you do something else, let us know in the comments. And OP says, for the past 8 months, I've noticed a pattern. My boyfriend comes out of his room 30 minutes to an hour after I call him for dinner. So I started calling him about 30 minutes before I finished to prevent the food from getting cold, and this has been working perfectly. 3 days ago, I did my usual routine, calling him 30 minutes before dinner started, and this time he came immediately. Of course, dinner wasn't done, and he got mad at me. He timed me, saying, "If you're going to call me for dinner, then call me when it's finished and stop wasting my time," which was unusual because he is normally so calm and gentle with me. I assumed it was because he was having a bad day. The next day, I did what he asked. I called him when dinner wasn't ready, but he didn't come out, so I thought maybe he was in the bathroom, so I texted him to come out for dinner. It said he read it, so I just started eating. 15 minutes passed, and I texted him again. "Hey, boyfriend, no rush, but it's been 15 minutes. Are you done yet?" And again, it was left on read. 30 minutes pass. I texted, "I just finished. I'm going to start putting away the food in about 10 minutes just to let you know." And again, he read it. After an hour, I gave up, left his dish on the table, put away the food, then went to my room. I lost track of time after that, maybe 20 minutes later. He came out. I heard a loud groan. Then he opened my door and asked me why I wasn't sitting at the table and where the food was. It was almost 10 and I was getting ready to go to sleep.
I'm sorry, he expected you to sit at the table for 2 hours?
Like a dog waiting for their owner to come home in the window?
If I made dinner for someone and then they didn't come out for 2 hours and then had the audacity to be like, "Where's the food? Why aren't you still at the table?" I would never make dinner for that person ever again.
Yeah, I don't. It's blatantly disrespectful.
So disrespectful.
I asked him about the texts, and he told me that yes, he had read them, but thought that it wasn't done yet since I never finished with cooking at the right time. The only time he had come too late or too early was the day before. All the other times I was there with dinner ready for him. I told him this, and he just rolled his eyes at me and said, "Oh yeah, well maybe next time you should," and then he started to mumble. I cannot with this guy. Reading this part, I'm laughing at how dumb it sounds now, but in that moment, that was the most annoying man-child stupid thing anyone could ever do. If he wanted to attack me or make some clever remark, at least be better. He literally is so weak if he could just finish one sentence about how bad I am. If you're going to try to gaslight, at least do it well. If you're going to blame me for your actions, at least make me think it's true. At least a little. Gaslight me better. I'm at my uncle's place trying to figure stuff out, but he has never been like this to me before. He's always been so kind, responsible, and smart with decision making. But now I don't know what to think of him. Was this him showing his real self? Why is he acting like this towards me? Was he faking our whole relationship? Is it all just fake? Is our relationship all just a lie? I just can't wrap my head around it. Has this happened to anyone else? If so, what was your next step? Did the relationship last? Thank you for reading my whole ramble. And there are comments. And first, I gotta say, you say like, "Oh, he's never done this."
He makes you wait for dinner for 30 minutes every time.
The whole time when you were texting him and he was late to dinner and he wouldn't come down when you're like, "Dinner's ready," when you were making him dinner, he's probably just playing video games.
Yeah. That's not, he's always been like that. And I also need to know what his job is and what else he's doing around the house. Because the fact that you're, again, working a 12-hour shift and making dinner, crazy.
Comment 1, your teenage son sounds like most teenage boys, honestly. Oh, wait, this is a grown man? Girl, what are you doing? Firstly, why is he holed up in his room constantly? Why do you have to text him like a child to come eat? Why do you have to cook dinner every single night?
Yes.
You're an ER
Yes.
You are an ER nurse working 12-hour shifts. Ditch this loser.
Please answer all of those.
Comment 2 says you're working 12-hour days and you have to worry about preparing dinner. Why isn't he doing this since he's clearly already at home? Girl, that man is a man-child. You honestly need to be in a relationship with a grown-up. This guy is not a grown-up. See if you can move in with a relative. You need to leave this relationship. OP says he works a 9-to-5 job and has always said that he works at home, but for 3 hours. All of these comments are really like opening my eyes to all of this BS that has been happening to me. Comment 3 says it's wild that you have separate rooms and you have to call him to dinner like he's your teenage son. What is happening here? This is not a relationship. You're his mom and he's a child having tantrums. I can't even put into words how ridiculous this is. I guess if this is the miserable life you want, then by all means, go home. And there's an update. It doesn't look good.
Oh, no.
Let's get into it. My boyfriend, 32, is getting kind of aggressive with me with his texting. Should I, 26, reply? So it's been over 30 minutes, and I really think I should reply by now. This is an update post, so if you need the full context, please read my first post. I lied about the friend's house because he knows my uncle's address. I mentioned this in my first post because he is nothing like this. For the past few days, he's been acting strangely, and it feels like I'm talking to a random person and not my boyfriend. This is also confusing. I guess now some of the people on my original post will be happy to see there's an update. I think I might come home tomorrow, but I don't know if I can mentally. Thank you for reading this. Should I reply?
Those were comments, right? Or is that the update? It's a lot of like, there's timestamps and stuff, and they're fully being like, oh, you took a whole minute to text back. It shouldn't take you that long. And within the same minute, hello, are you ignoring me? Hello, why are you not answering me anymore? Just like a lot of like, I can't continue with this if you're going to ignore me within like a 5-minute time span.
That's from him?
Yeah.
Anybody doing that?
And then her being like,
big
sorry.
old red flag.
No
Her
one.
being sorry, and then him going, if you apologize one more time, I'm going to end this conversation. What am I supposed to eat then?
What?
Your food that you make for yourself, you little toddler. You can't make your own. What am I supposed to eat then? Whatever you make. I don't know. Have a sandwich. Have some cereal. I don't care.
Wait, sorry, I read more. I cannot cook. I thought you would remember that you're my girlfriend. Could you at least send me cash for DoorDash?
What a pathetic loser your ex-boyfriend is.
Your girlfriend, not your mommy.
Comment number 1 says, oh, you 100% should reply, yeah, I think it'd be a great idea if we broke up. Cool. Comment 2 says he's 32 and he can't cook. What in the living F? And there's another update. We broke up.
Yes.
Yay! Woo! Huzzah! OP says, I could go on forever about what I took and broke, but to keep it simple, I took the entire kitchen, my room, and half of his room. I still can't decide if I'm brave, expressive, and confident, or still the pushover coward I was for 2 years. I went from calling him a wiener and venting about how terrible he was to feeling sad and pathetic. I still don't understand why I feel like I owe him and why I keep blaming myself. Guilt is a nasty little bugger. I hate that I know this, yet I don't understand it. I see that I'm a wimp, but I can't feel it. I can't fully grasp that my feelings are valid. My family has been telling me not to blame myself, but it's not that easy. I don't know if going on Reddit was a dumb choice. Reading the comments didn't make me feel better. It just made me feel like an idiot. However, talking to the people who DM'd me made me feel so heard. I want to apologize to everyone who was hurt because I didn't comment. Stop it. Stop it.
This is
You
the
don't
thing.
owe anyone a
No.
reply to their internet comments. When I went on Reddit a few hours after posting, there were hundreds of comments, and I just didn't have the energy to reply to all of them and said I'd read them when I woke up. When I did, I saw thousands of comments, and I knew I couldn't reply to all of them. I don't want anyone to feel unheard or left out because of the many great comments. I also want to say that one text thread where they were drafting a breakup text for me, that was funny, and it made me smile. Almost half of the comments are just saying, girl, can you hear yourself? And I read every single one. Yet it feels like I'm reading a different language. I don't understand why he's considered a bad person. I've read every comment, and they've all registered in my mind that he's a bad person, but I still can't believe it. I can complain about him and say he's a wiener, but I can't truly believe it.
He is a winner.
I just can't figure it out, but you did because you left.
Yeah.
And you
left.
took your
Broke
stuff,
up.
you left. You figured it out.
I never met him. But your boyfriend sounds like a piece of work.
And by the way, you can do some work by listening to all of our episodes. They are plentiful on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, just search OK Storytime, and you've got the entire archive to peruse. I could go on about how I don't understand this, but it's so foreign to me. I'm so frustrated that I don't see the world the way the commenters do. Why can't I see what they see? I read the messages and replies. I see their point, but I just can't understand it. I've been staying at my uncle's place. I hate therapy, but I guess I need it. Now I'll be restocking on wine and replaying Hamilton. Thank you for all the support and criticism. And Nick, I am so very extremely sorry. Stop it.
It's Nick.
Stop
Is
it.
that the boyfriend?
Is that the...
Is that your boyfriend?
Stop
Are you
it.
apologizing to your
This
boyfriend?
guy's got you so messed up. That's why you can't understand this,
Damn.
is because he has tricked you. He has brainwashed you to feel like you are
Bad.
the only one responsible for any element of the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you were freaking making him dinner every night when you had a 12-hour shift is crazy. It
That
also
is
doesn't even
crazy.
seem like he was washing dishes or anything.